Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Facebook Live for the grand opening of the Placentia Navigation Center. My name is Damian Arula, and I will be emceeing this event. Joining me here today are Mayor Ward Smith and Councilmember Rhonda Shader. And don't worry, we are practicing social distancing and other measures in order to help keep this event safe. Joining us at home are Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Yamaguchi, Councilmembers Chad Vonka, and Councilmember Craig Green. And stay tuned for the conclusion of today's speaking program, in which we will have two fantastic Placentia team members provide us a tour of this great facility. We would also like to acknowledge a few dignitaries who are watching from home or at work. These include Congressman Gil Cisneros, Supervisor Doug Chafee, Senator Ling Ling Chang, Assemblymember Philip Chen, as well as the mayors, city council members, and city managers from all of our partner cities of Buena Park, Yorba Linda, Brea, Fullerton, Orange, La Habra, Anaheim, Villa Park, La Palma, Stanton, Cypress, and Los Alamitos. It's important to note for this event and the opening of the Navigation Center as
Good morning, everyone. Please pray with me. God, today I come before you and acknowledge you publicly. I thank you for all that the opening of this Navigation Center means to so many. I ask you today that you would bless this place, that it would be a place where people find peace, comfort, and rest, where they find direction, motivation, and the will to change, that this place will always have enough food, enough supplies, enough people willing to help, enough resources to find housing, jobs, and income. That this will be a place of health, physical health, emotional health, financial health. I ask that joy and laughter would find its way into the hurt, pain, and addiction of those that will enter here. I pray for the staff of PATH that will make themselves and their hearts available to the people that will enter here, that they will have compassion, strength, courage, and wisdom as they help lead and guide others on their new path. Thank you, God, for your guidance and provision to getting us to this point today. Amen.
And now I would like to call up Mayor Ward Smith, who will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
No matter your place, whether at home, at work, wherever it is you're watching this from, if you would please stand, place your hand over your heart, and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to this great nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And before I introduce Mayor Smith for his speech, I have a couple of brief comments regarding the partnership and how we arrived here today. Homelessness. Homelessness has touched all of us in unique ways. We all have a family member, friend, or know of someone that has struggled with housing, addiction, mental health issues, employment, or all of the above. While we endeavored with our partners of the North Service Planning Area, which is to say all of our North Orange County cities, to create this amazing facility, it has come with its fair share of challenges. If you asked me a month ago, would we be open in March, I would have said yes. But if you asked me a couple of weeks ago, I would have said that might not be achievable. Well, my friends, I'm here to say that COVID knocked us down, but it didn't keep us down. Our project team worked tirelessly through weekends, government orders, material shortages, rain, and more government orders, all to arrive to today. And while we largely have some exterior improvements to finish, I am proud to say that this facility is ready and open for business. If you look at our current state of this pandemic, and the homeless being one of our most vulnerable populations, it makes more sense than ever to get the homeless off the street and into a clean, safe shelter. For many of us today, and as you watch this at home, we hear the words shelter in place, and we know what that means. And while we might contemplate how mundane our lives are because of this pandemic, or how boring it is watching binge TV watching movies or news, it is important to know one thing, and that is that many of the homeless people we're talking about serving today don't have a home to go to, don't have a shelter in place. They can't go from room to room when they get bored, or turn up the heater, or go to their backyard, or do the little things like order takeout or delivery. They can't go through the drive-thru with their cars to stay safe because they have no car. And they can't order their groceries online, or even the most basic of things like simply washing our hands regularly. All of these are adjustments we have made to keep ourselves and our families safe, which is why it is more important than ever for the City of Placentia to continue moving forward despite the circumstances. And so we hope that this facility will be a beacon, a place to call home, a place to learn, to grow, to stabilize, and find the connections that are needed to get oneself back up on their feet. For some it will be short-term, and for others it will be long-term. But either way, they will have a place that is designed to support them and make them successful again. A place to call home. This will take continued work and partnership of all of our North Spa partners, but with that, with all what we've accomplished in the recent past and leading up to today, I'm confident that collectively our North Spa team will continue to rise as a group to the challenge of homelessness. I would now like to introduce to you one of our champions of this project. He believes in our team and our city and has never relented in figuring out how we can help the homeless while also bringing law and order to our communities. I'm proud to introduce to you today our Mayor, Ward Smith, who will be saying a few words.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Arula. I'm always truly amazed, and while this wasn't part of my initial comments, I'm always kind of somewhat awestruck by the fact that none of us share our thoughts together, and we don't share our speeches ahead of time, and we don't discuss amongst each other what it is we're going to speak of. Yet already this morning, through an invocation and through opening comments by Council Member Shader and City Administrator Arula, I find a common theme or a common thought that's here. So I too would like to welcome you this morning. Thank you for joining us for this very special event here in the City of Placentia, the opening of Placentia's Navigation Center, a facility intended to bring hope, care, and needed attention and services to those in our community that find themselves in a place of dire need and assistance. This opportunity comes at a time of great challenge and concern in not only the City of Placentia and the community therein, but all communities. A health crisis that is not felt only locally or regionally, but one of global magnitude that is felt worldwide and has thus had a dramatic impact nationally, at the state and county levels as well. While this event was never thought of as having to coincide with such an event as the COVID-19.
We're having some technical difficulties.
Am I starting with just at the very beginning?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome and good morning. Thank you for joining us for this very special event here in the City of Placentia, the opening of Placentia's Navigation Center, a facility intended to bring hope, care, and needed attention in services to those in our community that find themselves in a place of dire need of assistance. This opportunity comes at a time of great challenge and concern in not only the Placentia community, but all communities. A health crisis that is not felt only locally or regionally, but one of global magnitude that is felt worldwide and has thus had dramatic impacts nationally, at the state and county levels as well. While this event was never thought of as having to coincide with such an event as the COVID-19 pandemic, it could not help but focus us on the need to be there to serve others. The Navigation Center will serve a broad spectrum of our community, as well as a result serve those communities around us beyond the clientele that simply enter this building. This Navigation Center, like so many others in the region, are special places, and ones that I have so commonly referred to as a homeless shelter on steroids. A place offering so much more than just a bed. Services that will lift up individuals, lift individuals up and help to place them on a path back to a sustainable, healthy, and contributing lifestyle. It will require much work and determination from those who choose to reside here and be part of such a program, but it will be an environment of support and fellowship along with working together. I want to recognize that none of this would have been possible without the vision, commitment, and hard work of so many folks and organizations. Again, demonstrating that homelessness is not just someone else's issue, but one of federal, state, county, and local concern. I know that time is short and the list is long, but one that is so important to speak to. As was mentioned by Mr. Arula, I want to thank my peers on the Placentia City Council, Mayor Pro Tem Yamaguchi, Councilmember Shader, Councilmember Green, and Councilmember Bonka. For it was through their commitment, direction, and collaboration that we agreed to take on one of the lead roles in addressing this issue, not just here in Placentia, but all of North Orange County. I want to thank our dedicated staff of folks, starting with our city administrator, Mr. Arula, who helped lead the North Spa coordination team. Our community services director, Karen Crocker, who worked closely with our site service provider, Path, and in part her predecessor, Sandra Gonzalez, who helped with securing the funding for this facility. Our Public Works Director, Luis Estevez, who worked closely with our project design folks and contractors in the build-out of this facility. Our Director of Development Services, Joe Lambert, in the handling of all permits and site inspections for such a unique project. And our Police Chief, Darren Lenier, and his Homeless Liaison Officer team, officers working alongside daily those in the homeless encampment to address legal, safety, and criminal matters, and to do so with the spirit of a law approach, good judgment, and compassion. The County of Orange for their continuously working alongside of us as part of their overall mission to oversee a continuum of care for the homeless and to help with all of the financing and grant management aspects. This includes our 4th District Supervisor and good friend, Mr. Doug Chafee, and our County CEO, Mr. Frank Kim. Would like to also acknowledge Federal Judge Carter for keeping the pressure on to move programs and projects like this along. Through him, the focus never waned and we continuously pressed forward. As I mentioned, our design and contractor folks from Totem and Cannon Construction for their design and build expertise. Their days were many and their hours spent were long and hard. And when I say many, I don't mean Monday through Friday. They were here on Saturdays, they were here on Sundays, they were here outside the standards of the norms of a normal construction workday. I would like to also acknowledge Path, our service provider, and all of their staff for their compassion, care, and willingness to work in partnership with so many others to make this a success for not only the clients, but those in our very own community. Excuse me. And almost lastly, a huge thank you of unbelievable size to the North Spa coordination team. This group encompasses representatives in the way, as was mentioned before, of city managers and collective councils from all 13 cities representing North Orange County. This involves strong collective and collaborative work by each given jurisdiction to agree on supportive funding measures and coordinated shares in how to engage and address each city's homeless issues and populations. This is nothing short of a huge, miraculous undertaking. This process has come to be recognized as a model and an example for other jurisdictions to consider and follow. And if you don't think it isn't a huge undertaking, if you think trying to get 5 council members together to work through something and agree on it, try getting 13 city councils together and 13 city managers with all their own interests and issues to come together coordinating a great outcome such as this. Lastly, I want to give special mention to the City of Buena Park because they're our main partner in this project. They received a like grant at the same time and are nearing the completion of their navigation center to be opened soon. Thank you to their city council and their city manager, Mr. Jim Vanderpool, for their leadership and sharing in the same thoughts and commitments as the City of Placentia to serve others in need. My theme this year as mayor of the City of Placentia is simple. A community in collaboration is a community of compassion, and that is what I believe we have demonstrated here today. Thank you all for every touch and every lasting fingerprint that you have placed on this special, life-changing navigation center. I say goodbye, and I wish you all the best in health and ask that you stay safe. Thank you very much. Am I doing a certificate?
So next, as a part of this program, we actually have reading of other speakers' speeches, led by Mayor Ward Smith and Councilmember Rhonda Shader. Please keep in mind, for social distancing purposes and the size of this event, that we limited the number of people that could attend today, despite wanting to be with you all. And I know you are joining at home or at work, so we appreciate all of you. But what we did is decided to facilitate those speeches briefly by having Mayor Ward Smith and Councilmember Rhonda Shader. So I'd like to call them up, and then they'll read speeches from our 3 to 4 speakers that we have that were originally slated for today's event. Mayor?
Thank you. Again, thank you very much, Mr. Arula. Let's see here. Would like to start with comments by Congressman Gil Cisneros. Congressman Cisneros says, "Thank you so much for taking such monumental steps towards ending homelessness in North Orange County, in the North Orange County cities. By working tirelessly, you uplift the most vulnerable. You have led an incredible effort in our district to uplift, develop, and empower others to get back on tracking live and a liftoff of strength and resilience. On behalf of the California 39th Congressional District, congratulations and best wishes for the upcoming year." Next are well wishes and comments from Assembly Member Philip Chen. On behalf of the California State Assembly, it is with sincere pleasure to join you all in congratulating the city and the residents in the grand opening of the Navigation Center. This center is very essential to our community in helping the homeless get back on their feet. Congratulations and welcome to the 55th Assembly District. I would also at this time like to present to the North Spa Navigation Center from the Senate, California State Senate, Senator Ling Chang of the Senate District of the 29th District, a certificate of presentation representing the North Spa. And to Senator Ling Chang, thank you so much for that. At this time, I'd like to call forward Councilmember Rhonda Shader.
And it's my pleasure at this time to read a comment by our friend and Orange County Supervisor Doug Chafee. From Supervisor Chafee, "I want to thank the City of Placentia's leadership team for spearheading the development of the Navigation Center and taking the lead on addressing homelessness in the region with the collaboration of the North Spa cities. In addition, I am glad the County of Orange was able to provide some monetary and logistical support for this project. This partnership between the city and the county serves as a model for how municipal governments can partner in the future to solve homelessness. Thank you so much, Supervisor Chafee, for your greetings. Next, I'd like to read a statement by the PATH Chief Executive Officer, Joel John Roberts. And I would just like to mention that the city is every day more and more glad in our decision to have PATH as a partner and service provider here at this Navigation Center. From CEO Roberts, we, PATH, are so honored to partner with the City of Placentia and the 12 other North Orange County cities to operate the Placentia Navigation Center. We are also grateful to our wonderful partners, the city staff of Placentia, the police department, Orange County Health Services, CityNet, and Cal Optima. When communities across our region have fought against setting up services and housing for our homeless neighbors, the City of Placentia was willing to courageously provide the solution to homelessness in their backyard. This center is a new home that will provide shelter and safety for people who were once living on the streets. But more than that, there will be compassionate counselors to help people overcome the barriers that cause their homelessness. There will also be services for health care, mental health treatment, and employment assistance. And most importantly, this new center will help our homeless neighbors find their own new home. We, PATH, believe in providing a win-win solution. We see this center as a win for people living on the streets, since they now have an option to end their homelessness. But we also believe in making sure this center is a win for the surrounding neighborhood. We want to work with the neighborhood to increase its quality of life. Finally, with this pandemic affecting our communities and knowing that many of the people living on our streets are the most vulnerable for getting sick, especially older people with underlying health issues, I am just thankful that this new center will be able to reach so many people. Thank you so much for your greetings, CEO Roberts from PATH.
Thank you, Mayor Ward Smith and Councilmember Rhonda Shader for those wonderful comments, and thank you to all the dignitaries who also could not participate live in person today, but also make sure that we have their comments and their contributions noted for today. In closing this portion of the program, there's a few people and agencies we would like to thank, for without them we wouldn't be here today. You heard the mayor mention some of them. I'm gonna add to those, and we have a few more people we would also like to thank. And we apologize if we have forgotten a name, because there are so many people that have collaborated in this project. First and foremost, we would like to thank our city council. This is from staff's perspective, for having the courage and tenacity to see this through, and for raising your hand when the call came to help the homeless. This project couldn't have happened without their leadership and guidance and their reassurance to staff to keep moving our city forward. Thank you also to our other co-host city, Buena Park, as was previously mentioned, and in particular Jim Vanderpool, city manager of Buena Park. Jim and I shared many similar experiences, as did our councils in this journey. And having a sister city to lean on and talk with was incredibly important as we walked down this road together. Thank you also to Lori Murray, former city manager of La Palma, for her vision, as she was the architect of our budget and guided us through this project, through all the funding. While she's off to Idaho, she will always be a part of this project. Thank you, Jim Sadro of La Habra, who is our new treasurer, and for stepping up and helping us with that. And also guiding us is Rick Otto of Orange, who has stepped up to be the new chair of our City Managers North Spa Committee. Thank you to all of my North Orange County City Manager colleagues and their councils. This was an idea, one that had never been done before. But we set our minds to it and are now implementing that vision. With cities from San Diego County to Northern California asking us how we, this great group of people, put all of this together, this partnership and collaboration is pretty amazing to witness, and we hope that they also can implement a similar vision to serve the homeless in their communities. Ultimately, what we set out to do, we accomplished. Is it perfect? No. Nothing innovative and the first of its kind is. But we continue to grow as a team every day while we implement the vision we all set our sights to. Thank you also to Frank Kim, CEO of Orange County, Richard Sanchez, Executive Director of Orange County Healthcare Agency, Doug Chafee, 4th District Supervisor, and the Orange County Board of Supervisors for their constant support financially and always providing words of encouragement. Thank you to the Continuum of Care Board, as well as former county staff member Susan Price, who is now with Costa Mesa and helped in this initial process. Placentia has an amazing partnership with our county colleagues, and without their guidance, we couldn't accomplish this navigation center here today. Thank you to Danny Kay and Patrick Lappin with Totem Construction Management. Also thank you to Jesse Moyarga and Dan Boyan from Cannon Constructors South Inc., our general contractors. These guys have literally been working around the clock, and although we had a hiccup here or there with various government orders, we got everything worked out and we only have a few items to complete. Thank you to Chief Corey Sainez of Buena Park and the North Orange County Chiefs and Sheriff Barnes and his team for all of your guys' hard work on the North Orange County Public Safety Task Force, which greatly supports and supplements these efforts. Thank you to Tiffany from Outreach Grid for her innovative app that will make reserving a bed at this navigation center seamless for all law enforcement agencies. A huge thank you also goes out to my city team members who not only set this event up, but have been there helping manage this project from the beginning. These key team members include Luis Estevez, Acting Deputy City Administrator, Community Services Director Karen Crocker, who have worked through weekends and COVID to get us here. Thank you also to former Community Services Director Sandra Gonzalez and Assistant to the City Administrator Jeanette Ortega for their key insight and additional project management and support. Thank you to Kim Krause, our Finance Director, and her great team, Darren Lanier, our Chief of Police, and the entire fine men and women of the Placentia Police Department who will be helping with the cleanup here shortly. Also thank you to Joel Cardenas, Public Works Superintendent, and the amazing Public Works crew for helping with that cleanup and this event today. Joe Lambert, our Director of Development Services, and his team. Rosanna Ramirez, our other Acting Deputy City Administrator, and her team for all the administrative elements of this project. We'd also like to thank PATH, People Assisting the Homeless, and Tesha and Manveer and Tony and all of their team members for being our site operator for this facility. With serving over 24,000 homeless beds per year, we believe we picked an excellent partner in serving the North Service Planning area. To our surrounding businesses, our partners at Placentia Yorba Linda School District, His House, and Collette's Children's Home, thank you for your feedback, support, and guidance. It will take all of us working together to continue lifting up our communities. And finally, thank you to Judge Carter and Judge Smith in believing in us and always supporting the mission. Thank you also, this might sound a little odd to some folks, but thank you also to Plaintiffs' Counsel, Brooke Weitzman and Carol Sobel, who also agreed with us in supporting this mission. And while our paths and opinions may diverge at times, they believed that this collaboration amongst cities could be a model throughout California. As you can see in closing, this project has touched nearly every single area of our city. With virtually every city department and all of our partners mentioned previously, this has truly been a family-oriented project. And this project will continue that tradition with our North Spa Committee kicking off. And as this project has touched all of our lives already, we are excited about the many lives it will touch in the future. Again, thank you for joining us today on this momentous occasion to celebrate partnership and helping the homeless. Thank you. And now, as this concludes the speaking portion of the event, we will now do a ribbon cutting as well. We have one more item.
We have two more items.
Two more items. Okay.
And then I'm going to close.
Yes, I'd like to call Mayor Ward Smith.
Thank you, Damien. Like was indicated, this is kind of a fluid event here and a little different in our approach to things. But in doing so, we have a handful of certificates here, actually just 3, that we'd like to present to folks. On behalf of the City of Placentia, we would like to present a certificate to Totem. Totem Corporation was our design and construction group, and we appreciate all of their hard work, their commitment and time, effort, and energy to make this project happen. Next, we at the city would like to present to Cannon Constructors Southern California for all of their work. They're the actual boots on the ground here, putting the building together, setting it all up, and you'll see all of their hard work once you get inside for this virtual tour that's coming. And lastly, on behalf of the city, we have a certificate that we would like to present to PATH. Again, as it was mentioned, People Assisting the Homelessness. We so much appreciate them for all that they've done and their caring approach within the city of Placentia and to help us with this project. There you go. Okay. We'll make sure that these get out to the rest of the folks here shortly. With that, I would like to call forward again Councilmember Rhonda Shader for her closing comments.
As we finish up today, I feel so much gratitude. Gratitude to advocates that care and fight for the weak, for a judge that decided to make a lawsuit more than just about money, but about change, provision, and equality. For the wisdom and courage of 13 city managers and 13 city councils that said, yes, we can work together, and yes, we can find a way. To the lawyers that balanced all the needs and put it in writing. Gratitude for police officers that have found a new way to create peace for all. For people in churches that have showed compassion and care for the struggling. For our business owners that found space, kept moving forward, and remained sane. But most of all, I am grateful for the homeless that will have the courage to move yet again tomorrow and walk through these doors and hope and work for something better. Thank you to each of you that has watched this virtual opening. It is not what we hoped for. We wanted all of you to be with us in person. We wanted to shake your hand and thank you and say congratulations. But this will have to do for now because we all care too much about each other's health during this critical time. But for sure, next time we see you, and it won't be long, let's celebrate again this great accomplishment. Please continue to join us for a ribbon cutting, a cake cutting, and a tour of our beautiful new facility.
So we'll go ahead, Mayor.
Are we going to vote now?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't run with scissors in your hand. We ready?
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, we'll go in and do the cake. Mayor, do you want to take a couple of
Oh yeah.
notes here?
Let's
Come around the side of the table.
We'll just have one when it's fun.
That's me getting it close, but I can't even put my hand in.
Is that good? You can function?
Okay. Okay. You ready?
All right. You got a good shot of what the cake, what's on the cake?
Yeah, let's try another one,
All
just to
right.
make sure.
And now the tour.
Tour begins.
And this is
Ready to get
this is a new
started.
one that we created, so.
Make sure you
Welcome everyone to our fabulous facility, and now our acting deputy city administrator Luis
Hello.
Estevez is going to join me, Karen Crocker, Community Services Director, in giving you a tour of this facility. So let's start with this section. So Luis, what do we do here? Our guests come through the door. This is our first area, and what happens here?
Well, we're going to have some furniture soon. The furniture was delayed a little bit thanks to COVID-19, but this is generally the general reception area. There'll be a desk here. So as the guests come in through the doors, they'll be checked in here, start getting their case file paperwork together, and start getting them an introduction into the center and to the different services we offer here.
Fabulous. So, this looks like a really strange item. What is this?
That is a hot box, and that's where folks, when they come in off the street, their clothing would be placed into this box that's then charged with electricity. And think of it as a big bug zapper. It's designed to kill off whatever bed bugs they may have on their clothes or other insects. And so that's what that's there for.
Nice. So while we start our tour, can you tell us how large is this? How many square feet is our navigation center?
This building is about 30,000 square feet in total size. It's a converted industrial commercial building built in the early 1970s that we repurposed for a new shelter.
Fabulous. When did we start construction?
We started back in November with the initial demolition work, and then we in December, it was in October, November, we started with the seismic retrofits to the building, and that was to make it co-compliant with current seismic building codes, and then we started the final building improvements in December.
4 months. It took us 4 months to actually convert this building into what it is today.
That's right. That's right.
So why don't we start? We've been to the intake center where we're going to have a beautiful desk in a couple of days. And now let's go over into our other area,
Sure.
which is the office.
Yes, the center path is the center operator, so they're still unpacking, of course, and getting themselves situated in their new office spaces. But we have office space here for the center director and another office back in that corner there with the staff restroom up here. So there'll be workstations here for all of the center employees to do their business.
And I believe we're doing counseling services in this area too. So can
That's
you
correct.
tell us what happens? What kind of services do we have offered here?
So it's more than just a traditional homeless shelter. We offer here wraparound services. So not only do they get shelter and protection from the elements, but they also have access to drug counseling, mental health services, social services, job training, and the like. So it's all full wraparound services designed to help people, give them a stand up and a leg up, and be able then to transition to more permanent supportive housing and then permanent housing as it.
Great. Let's keep on going, guys. Wow. Look at this. Tell us a little bit about this.
We have laid out the building here in different sort of pods. We have a space set aside for men, single men, and we have a space set aside for single women. This space here is for men. We have 100 total beds in this facility. We have bed spaces for families. We have bed spaces and areas for couples. And so each bed is provided with an electrical outlet for phone charging and some cabinetry to store some clothing. So this is kind of a typical arrangement here for this joint living space.
And I noticed that there's numbers.
Yes, so each bed space is numbered, individually numbered, and as each guest comes in, they're assigned a bed space that then corresponds to a locker space as well up front.
Great.
We have conference room spaces available as well. This is for mental health services, job counseling sessions, and things like that. So if there's a need for private one-on-one counseling, we have space available for that. Again, the furniture is arriving in a couple of days.
Oh my. I love the little children's blankets. So can you tell us, what's this room?
This room has been set aside for families. So we have some rooms here available for single moms with their children or intact families that need space. And so we give them a little bit extra privacy with the kids, and so that way the parents and the family can stay together. So they have the same kind of amenities that they do, the balance of the shelter with phone charging capabilities, storage, and whatnot.
And as we know, we have a lot of folks who are living in their cars. So this is an opportunity for our homeless families who live in cars to be able to come over here. And we have a space for them. We are looking at it as a temporary space where we have 2 other homeless housing areas within the city of Placentia, which is his house and Colette's. So this will be there when they first come, and we would like to, if there's room in the other facilities, transfer them over there. But this is a great space for our families and women with children. Let's keep on going.
See here, you see another pod for bed space for single men. And then if we come to the right here, you'll see restrooms. These are restrooms for men. So we have a gender neutral, ADA compliant restroom, a single stall and shower for that. And then we have the larger restroom space for the rest of the men. So we have full accommodations, showers, and then we also have an additional ADA compliant restroom, showers here as well.
Here's the ADA.
So we talked a little bit about how we've separated single men from single women. Down this hallway here, you'll see the doors where we've got some metal barricades and some framing up top. That sort of denotes the two halves for single men and single women. One of the barriers for women in particular from coming into shelters is that oftentimes they have been assaulted while living on the street, and sometimes even in shelters, and so there is a fear among them that creates a barrier for them to want to come into the shelter and get off the street. This is a low barrier facility, so we do allow pets. We do allow those who are living in their cars to bring their cars and park in the rear parking lot. We do allow them to bring personal property here. They are allowed to leave throughout the day. They're not allowed to loiter in the neighborhood or cause any issues like that. But if they need to leave for doctor's appointments or to visit family or to go for job interviews or whatever the case may be, they're free to come and go throughout the day.
And they can bring one bike.
They can bring one bicycle. That's right. That's right.
So in response to our COVID-19 virus, we are going to be doing intaking. When we do intaking, we're also going to be screening through CalOptima and OC Health. And so instead of filling all of our beds, we are going to be alternating spaces so that all of our guests that arrive tomorrow, move-in day is tomorrow, they will be able to come in and feel safe and have at least a 6-foot separation when they are sleeping as well.
Yeah, so we'll be operating at about half capacity for the next few weeks until the COVID-19 restrictions have been lifted.
So again, more units, hub areas. This is still the men's area. And then once we get through this area, this is where the women's area is, and here is a separated gate. We also have a barrier as well so that they feel safer and protected by having this height. And the reason why it's not full and it needs to be opened is because of our exits regarding our fire code. So we needed to meet fire code, and so if you were to look throughout the facility at any given time, anybody can actually see where our exits are.
We wanted a balance to provide some level of privacy for individuals, but also provide enough visual space so that security and the staff operators that are operating the center here can keep an eye on what's going on inside the shelter.
And we have 24/7 security, so
Yes.
there will always be somebody at this facility all hours of the day.
Yeah, it's staffed and operated 24/7.
And this is another example. This is how we're going to be operating through this COVID dilemma here that we have regarding the bed spaces. So as you can see, they are separated.
You get just a little sample of the type of cabinetry. These are all been custom built for this project. So they have some space to store personal effect, clothing, and things like that. And then there's also a hasp on it so they can put a padlock on it and not worry about their things being taken.
And as well, all of our space is ADA accessible. So between our beds and our hallways, it is all ADA. And we're leaving the women's bed area. However, these are the women's restrooms.
Yes, so this is a another gender neutral ADA compliant restroom. I'll get the lights to turn on here. There we go. And this is the women's restroom. So we have the full accommodations here as well. And there's an additional ADA compliant shower room as well.
I love the colors, the tile. Our theme is that teal, blue, green, beige, and our furniture that will be arriving will be matching this color theme as well.
Storage is a premium in these types of facilities, and so we have plenty of storage space, allocated a lot of storage space for the center operator. Keep extra linens, other stocks, dry stock supplies as well. Here we have a laundry room. This is will be available for all guests to use. You've got a basic folding table here. The laundry equipment is arriving this week, so that's all set up and ready to go to be plugged in. So they have the opportunity to do their laundry here on site. The path has the ability to obviously wash all their linens and things like that here on site as well. Through this room, this is our area that we've set aside for couples. So when we have that couples that are living together, married couples, other couples that are together, living together, oftentimes that becomes a barrier in and of itself, where there may be space available for the female, but no space available for the male. And so that complicates issues for them, and oftentimes no one ends up going to the shelter. So we've allocated space here for couples so that they can come in and stay together and stay here in this facility as well. The accommodations here are a little bit different. The drawers are fitted a little bit differently under the beds. But you can also see we've added electrical outlets here at all the bed spaces. That, surprisingly enough, that is a barrier in and of itself in other shelters in the past. People need to charge their phones, and their phones have to go into a common area for charging, and phones end up getting taken and whatnot. So people have here a little bit of extra accommodation here for themselves.
That's odd. What is that?
That is a solar tube. So this part of the building here is pretty dark. It's at the far end, the far west end of the building. And so we thought we could add some additional natural light through this living space here by adding these solar tubes. So it's a series of mirrors and glass inside of a tube that goes all the way to the roof, and it actually amplifies the sunlight coming into the room and fills the whole space up with natural light.
I bet you at night you can see the moon actually shining in as well.
Could be, yep.
So I think we forgot a little area right here.
Oh, yes, there's a restroom here dedicated at the end. And this is a dedicated restroom for this couple's area here at the end of the building.
We are, regarding when our guests start arriving tomorrow, we are going to be using this as well as a flex space for isolation. Mm-hmm. So if anybody has symptoms of the COVID-19, they will be in the isolation area, and that restroom will serve as an isolation as well. So we are accommodating and complying with our CDC requirements.
We've added some additional conference room space here for the center operator, or for additional meetings, group meetings and things like that, training sessions for the guests that are living here. So we did have incorporate a lot of flexible use space inside the building for that purpose. Here's another side of the women's area, single women's living quarters. Here we have just a basic kitchen, very nice kitchen, but a basic kitchen to serve up meals, drinks. The heavy lifting in terms of the cooking will be done at the city's Powell building, which also doubles as our senior center. We have a chef, actually PATH, the center operator, has a chef, full-time chef that will be preparing all the meals at that facility, and then they'll bring them here every day, 3 meals a day, to be served out of this kitchen here. So they've got space for their refrigerators. Inside they've got a really nice big pantry space as well. And so this is a pretty functional area. Again, furniture is delayed by a couple of days, but this area will be filled with brand new tables and chairs for the dining area. So this is effectively the dining area, these series of round tables spread out through this floor area here for use for dining. And then of course there is 100 lockers, one for each guest here in the facility. Again, another barrier to some shelters, or for a barrier for others for seeking shelter assistance, is nowhere to store personal effects that are going to get stolen. So upon check-in, they'll be given a padlock to not only lock their clothes and their belongings in their dressers and their armoires, but also be able to lock additional items inside these individual lockers as well.
So you may be wondering why we have fresh fruits and some snacks. So in addition to their 3 hot meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, anybody who is here during the day or even at night, there will always be snacks out on the counter, whether it's fresh fruit, pastries, and most of this is donated from our local businesses. So plenty of food for all of our residential guests to enjoy. So at this time, this concludes our tour. I hope you enjoyed it, and as you can see, we are very proud to present our new navigation center along with our other North Spa cities, and we hope you can join us and come visit our navigation center once it's opened, and we have all of our furniture in here. So again, thank you so much, and Luis, would you like to say anything?
No, it was a great project. Pleasure to work on this project on behalf of the community. If you'd like to volunteer here at the center, please reach out to PATH, and they can put you into contact with those that run the volunteer programs here, and you can come volunteer here at the center when you have time.
And move-in day is tomorrow.
That's right.
Thank you.